Hi, welcome to a Girl in the Shed video where again I'm in the shed, and today I wanted to share with you some really wildlife friendly Christmas ideas. And anyone that's been to my previous community garden or any of the events that I've created will know that I'm really passionate about not buying things new if we can help it. And I really think there's enough stuff in the world already for us to cope without hardly anything new. There are a few obvious things that we want to buy new, but I think certainly when it comes to gifts and so on, and householdy things, it's really easy to find these things pre-loved already. And when you buy things like that, you're easing the pressure on wildlife and the planet, because you haven't got all that plastic packaging, you haven't got things being shipped around the world for you, you haven't got the factory chemicals where things are being made new, and really the list goes on and on and on, the benefits for buying second-hand pre-loved things. And it can be quite good fun trawling through a charity shop to see what you can find. I'll show you something I found in a minute. I'm always in them, I absolutely love it. But you can have a really wildlife friendly Christmas, and I always, on a normal year, I would invite people to do some of these things as well when I see them at Christmas. So I've just got a list of things that I've jotted down for you to maybe consider. So first of all, I've got, for my wildlife friendly Christmas ideas, gifts in particular. How about buy somebody membership to a wildlife friendly charity? So you could buy them a year's membership. If it's a child, I know they have an excellent children's membership at the Woodland Trust, for instance. You get packs through the post of things that they can do, and of course that will benefit the planet, because as they get involved in that and they go out and do all these little activities, they will start to become the sort of people that will look after the planet themselves as they get older and older. It's always good to inspire people young. So, but if you are going to buy membership, think about who you're buying membership with, because there are lots of charities. There are a few obvious ones that I can think of, but there are so many that don't particularly get people's attention, and often that's just because they don't have the marketing budget. So have a really good look around and think about who you want that money to go to. And the second one is similar to that, and it's making donations on someone's behalf. So perhaps you can make a donation to Wiltshire Wildlife Hospital, or another small charity. And again, I would say think about who that money's going to, because there are the bigger obvious ones, but there are a huge amount of very small, very worthy charities that are hand to mouth with the incomes that they have and that support the work they do. So have a really good look around, and put your money somewhere that is going to be really used at a grassroots level. I would personally do that. And then I've got obvious things like you could buy a child a bird feeder and some seed, and again sparking that interest for life. I find that when children get into nature young, they really continue all their lives. I was the same. I remember things right back to when I was crawling around in the grass. I can remember visually, I can remember specific flowers now which I know the names of, and it's something that you love for life. It's a passion, and I think it's really good to get kids into those things. It's healthy, it's good for them, it expands their mind in so many brilliant ways, it gets the imagination going, gets them to ask questions, it gets them to look at things like sharing, life and death, all those kinds of things. So that's another thing. You could buy, again for kids, you could buy bird book and binoculars. Again, you can get things like that second hand, really cheaply. How about if you have a bigger budget, buy a bench with a view? install a bench somewhere, talk to whoever the landowner is, obviously, install a bench somewhere with a family name on it or a dedication to someone, so that for years to come you can enjoy that view and your family can enjoy the view and other people. So for the next one, bird boxes. This is sort of goes along a little bit with my previous bird video. Bird boxes. We all know the bird boxes with the one single hole at the front, but there are many types of bird boxes you can buy, for particularly for birds that are on what's called the red list, which means they're quite threatened and their numbers have declined a lot over the years for various reasons. So starlings and house sparrows are on that list, and they typically nest together, so their bird boxes look like sort of a block of flats almost, so there will be various holes for them to get in. They like to huddle up and nest together, so one of the reasons for the decline in birds like that is actually lack of places to nest. So bird box is a good one, and if you have a little research about birds, UK birds on the red list, you will come up with some ideas, and then you can follow that and buy specific bird boxes for the type of bird you choose. You could also buy a bee box, and I've got one here. This is the one that I love to use, and there's a reason why these ones work really well. So often you get sold bee boxes that don't work so well, and I will tell you in another video why they don't work so well. I'll explain the whole thing and some of the science behind that. But these ones, these work really well for attracting a couple of different species of bees typically. Really easy to install. So I'll do a video about those because that'll take too long now. So bee boxes. You can buy a living plant for someone. I love buying living plants for people because again that goes on for years and years, and if you buy one that's great for bees, butterflies and moths and other pollinators, then that's brilliant as well. That's even better. So what I'm going to do is I will put a short list of really good plant ideas under this video, but I'm going to do another video about plants for pollinators as well. So it's because there are so many, that's quite a few minutes of video I think, but I'll put a few ideas under this one. Second-hand pre-loved items, from books to one-off trinkets. I remember finding once the most beautiful little silver pin cushion in Salisbury Antique Market, and it was loved by the person I gave it to. It was such a unique little present, and it was only about, I don't know, 10 quid or something like that. And you can find things like this. Who remembers fuzzy felts? That's not a really early version, but I did find a version not so long ago, a really old version of the original game in its box. And it was all monsters and dinosaurs, which I thought was brilliant. You can pick things up like that for about 1-2 quid. And people love being given things like that. It's a blast from the past. So trawl around the second-hand shops. They're so interesting. How about making a button box for somebody? Again, if you go in the second-hand shops, you can often find bags of buttons just sold for 50p for a bag of buttons, and if you bought a beautiful glass jar or something like that as well, also you can find those in second-hand shops. Tie a ribbon around it with a note on it. That's quite a nice little trinket for someone that likes those kinds of things. Something else I also do for people, and I've done this many times before and they're always received really well, is paint a pebble. So you can buy just round flattish pebbles, or you could, I'm not sure if picking one up on the beach is okay anymore, but or you could, you know, use a piece of slate or something you found around the garden, but it needs to be sort of flat, and then paint a picture on it. I've done ladybirds, I've done Jenny wrens, I've done all sorts of wildlife. As I like wildlife, I always go for wildlifey themes. But that's also a really nice thing to do and get you in the festive spirit. But don't have too many glasses of wine while you're painting because you might not like the result. You can get kids to do that as well, put their name on the back of it, so it's a personal present from your child to someone. You can do things like making infused oils for people to use in their cooking. If you know someone that cooks a lot, you can pick rosemary from your garden or thyme and then dunk that into some oil and make, again, put a nice bow on it and a note or something. You could do a collage of photographs for your best friend, you know, holidays past or something like that. And again, you can pick up frames, beautiful frames in second-hand shops or antique shops, depending on your budget. You could buy someone an experience, or you could create a beautiful voucher of an experience and write on it what the experience is going to be. So for instance, if someone's always moaning to you that you'd never spend any good quality time with them, why not create a voucher with a date, tell them what you're going to do, and then in brackets put down the bottom, this is going to be a no phone zone experience. So, you know, that's just a bit of fun, but it costs you nothing. All you've got to do is find that day and commit to turning your phone off. And let's face it, we all like quality time with the people we love. We all want quality time over and above most things. You could, one of the things you could do is go wildlife watching with someone as well, in this similar kind of idea. You could buy a nature course for somebody, so you could book them in onto a day's course going out to either look at nature or maybe paint nature, and I will give some ideas about that as well in another video, because I'm going to do another video about local artisans, makers and people that have got really worthy businesses and initiatives going on that you can actually help by either buying a course or, you know, shopping where they sell their wares or buying directly from them. I'll do that in a separate video. And I think, a couple of extra ideas as well that will obviously be wildlife friendly, because you're not buying things with loads of packaging. They haven't been made in any factories. There's no impact on the planet at all. Is a couple of years ago I asked all the people I'd asked were coming to dinner at my house for Christmas to make their own Christmas crowns, and it was so much fun because people turned up. They made a lot of effort as well, and people turned up with really amazing Christmas crowns on their heads, and it was just really good fun. And also you can make your own Christmas crackers, and one of my guests did actually make Christmas crackers and bring them and put some really interesting things inside which he had found in second-hand shops. So I think it's, if we get out of that kind of instant headspace of just buy the presents, get them wrapped, get them under the tree, you can actually, in my eyes, this is about prolonging Christmas and making it really good fun from start to finish, the whole way through. And a lot of that, it does involve making things for people and thinking sideways about what you're going to buy for people or how you're going to approach Christmas. So I hope those were interesting ideas, and there are so many more things. You could take one of those and twist it and turn it and make it your own. Get the kids involved in those things as well. But whatever you do, try and make it wildlife friendly. And remember, when you're buying something online, and I know lots of us might have to for an array of reasons, there is packaging, there is transport, there is chemicals, there is all sorts of things involved in buying brand new. So if you can buy second hand, go for it. It's good fun, and it will make for a really, really happy Christmas in this strange year we're coming up to the end of. I don't know what to say. It's been a weird one, hasn't it? But hopefully there'll be lots of people going for walks with each other on Christmas Day if they can't see each other and so on, and you can make it your own. And anyway, that's another video from me. It's quite long this time, I won't ramble on any longer, and I will see you in another video.